Methods and approaches teaching English. Suggestopedia Community Language Learning Method created by psychologist Georgi Lozanov in 1970, teaching methodology that focus on both the content of teaching and the learning environment. The method applies suggestion, touring, music, relaxation, breathing, and imagination. Features learning environment, furniture and decoration, music with lesson decor. The main objective of the method is to provide advanced conventional competence, rapid memorization of vocabulary, and the acquisition of speech habits related to acts of communication. Increase access to understanding and creative solution of problems. Students' role. The students plays a childlike role by participating in the activities proposed by the teaching in a relaxed way. Role of the teacher consists of creating situations in which the student is more receptive and then presenting language material in a way that always a greater positive retention of the student. Pros: motivating in communicative emotions are important in increases memory. Cons: limited number of students, limited homework, infantilization of the learner. Natural approach. The method was developed by Tracy Terrell and Stephen Krashen in 1983 and is based on the theory of language acquisition and communication. A large amount of vocabulary must be exposed to the student. Activities must be carried out. Hypothesis in its model. The acquisition learning hypothesis is this status that there is a strict separation between consistent learning of language and subconscious acquisition of language, and that only acquisition can lead to fluent language use. The monitor hypothesis is states that language can no like that is consciously learning can only be used to monitor output, not to generate new language. Monitoring output requires learning to be focused on the role and to have time to apply it. The input hypothesis states that language is accurate, be exposed to comprehensible inputs at a level slightly higher than that the learner can already understand. Krashen names these kinds of input. The natural order hypothesis states that learners architecture the grammatical features of our language in a fixed order and that this is not affected by instruction. The affective filter hypothesis is that learning must be relaxed and open to learning in order for language be architected. Learning's word are news or the set might not learn factors in the input that more relaxed learnings would pick up with little effort. Role students. They should know try to learn the usual things, but should try lose themselves in activities involving meaningful communication. The language at care is seen as a processor of comprehension input. Role teacher. First, the teacher is the primary source of comprehensible input in the target language. So the natural approach teacher creates a classroom atmosphere that is interrogant friendly and in which there is love after filter for learning. Task-based language teaching. Task-based language teaching focuses on the use of authentic language to complete meaningful tasks in the target language. Such tasks can include visit and doctor conducting an interview or calling customer service for help. Assessment is primarily based on task outcome rather than an occurrence of prescribed language from can be considered a branch of communicative language teaching. Tasks as for main characteristics. A task involves a primary focus. In a learning, a task has some kind of gap. proven identify their main types as information gap, reason gap, and opinion gap. Participants choose the linguistic resources needed to complete the task. A task has clearly defined non-linguistic outcome. Frameworks to create a task-based learning lesson. Pre-task. In the pre-task, the teacher will present what is expected of the students in the task phase. Furthermore, in the work, the teacher might perceive students with their vocabulary or grammatical constructions, or this might mean that the activity is in the affecting more similar to more traditional present productive participate.
Hello, this is the other method, grammar translation method. The grammar translation method is a method of teaching for gain language derived from the classical method of teaching Greek and Latin. In grammar translation class, students learn grammatical rules and that applying those rules by translating sentences between the target language and the native language. Advanced students may be required to translate whole text word for word. Characteristics. Class are taught in the mother tongue. Much vocabulary is taught in the form of lists of isolated words. Little or no attention is given to pronunciation. Reading of difficult text is begun early and long elaborate explanation of the intricacies for grammar at beginning. Why would use this method? The grammar translation method focuses on the application of grammar and correct sentence structure. This is especially helpful in teaching students how to write and read in another language, allowing them to explore interchangeable words and phrases more effectively than a verbal teaching method. The direct method of teaching, which is sometimes called the natural method, and is often, but not exclusive, used in teaching foreign language, refrains for using the learner's native language and use only the target language. In general, teaching focus of development of oral skills, characteristic feature of the direct method are teaching concepts and vocabulary through pantomime, real-life objects, and other visual materials. Teaching grammar be used an inductive approach, that is, having learned fin or rulers through the presentations of adequate language forms in the target language. The centrality of spoken language, including a native-like pronunciation, focus on question-answer patterns. And the techniques is question-answer exercise, dictation, read aloud, student self-correction, conversation practice, and the students are given an opportunity to ask their own question to the other students or to the teacher. This enables what a teacher learning interaction interaction, as well as a learner interaction. Paragraph reading. The audiolingual method. The audiolingual method is a method of foreign language teaching which emphasizes the teaching of listening and speaking before reading and writing. It uses dialogues as the main form of language presentation and drills as the main training techniques. Mother tongue is discouraged in the classroom. The objectives. The general objectives of the audiolingual method is to enable the target language communicatives and short range objectives, including training in listening comprehension, accurate pronunciation, reading comprehension, and production of the audiolingual method are developing of master in all four language skills, beginning and with listening and speaking, and use this as basis for teaching of reading and writing. And long-range objective or the ultimate goal is to develop in the students the same type of abilities the native speaking have to use it automatical without stopping to think. And the techniques and repetition drill substitution drills is that the student repeat the line from the dialogue and which the teacher has given them, substituting the cue into the line in its proper place and question and answer drive. Thank you.
Communicated language teaching. It is an educational approach whose emphasis is not helping students to use a language other than their mother tongue in various contexts, considering learning the functions of the language to be of great relevance. Among the characteristics of this application in the classroom, it stands at that the presentation of grammar to students is usually done in the table, although emphasis will be placed on a specific aspect when deemed appropriate. Objectives. Enable the person who is learning a second language to be capable of producing real communication, both oral and written, with other speakers of their foreign language. To meet these objectives, teachers of a foreign language will use text recovering that various materials with which they will carry activities that seek to imitate as closely as possible situations that the students can experience outside the classroom, from a basic conversation in a supermarket to exposing your thoughts in a circle of friends, or classmates, or colleagues. For teaching. Promote the communication skills students, increase motivation for learning a language, develop social skills, improve self-esteem, and group cohesion by working as a team to advance learning, train students to use that second language in a real communicated environment. Teacher role coordinated and stimulate the learning of this foreign language. Thoracical response. It was developed by James Asher, professor of psychology at San Jose State University. It consists in the fact that when an additional language is learned, it is internalized through a code decryption process which in turn allows a long period of development of understanding before language production. This learning system is based on the idea that human brain is biological, programmed to learn a natural language, including the sign language of the deaf. And the example of all this is how babies internalize language. Writing principles uses psychomotor system to teach vocabulary and system forms. Student notes forms to speak until ready. Command forms used to convey information builds gradually in complexity, supports kinesthetic learning style. Silent way method of language teaching developed by Caleb Gaterno. The objective of the silent way method of language teaching is for students to work as independent language learners. The teacher speaks very little when using this method. Silent way principles. Students should engage in a great deal of meaningful practice without repetition. Language is for self-expression. The teacher can gain valuable information from students' feedback. The syllables is composed of linguistic structures.
Hello, teacher. My name is Juan David Peña Bolívar, and I will chat today you about the dogma and click method. A dogma didactic. The dogma approach in language teaching is considering both the method and method. One, dogma is communicate approach to language te- te- teaching the advocate the teacher with the box and instead focus on conversation with students and teacher. It begins with an article by Scott and Turbo. 2. An author in the field of foreign language teaching. The dogma approaching is also known in English as dogma, English acronym for English language teaching, due to its origin in the sector of teaching. Precepts. 1. A teaching focused on conversation. 2. Free teaching of published materials. 3. Emerge. Principles of the dogma approach. Interaction, the most direct path to learning in the interaction between teacher and students and between the students tools. Comment. The students are more in communicate with the didactic contents are created by the MERS. Dialogical principle. Learning is a social and dialogical process stored with the technology is co-constructed. Scaffolding. Learning to take place to earn convention in the with the student and the teacher, co-construction, co-knowing, and develops their strengths. Emergency. Launch and grand emergency in the learning process. This is the difference before the own process in the theories about the origins of language. Click on method. Content and language integrated learning. Click is the term there for what is commonly known as language enhancement. The term clean in Spanish was in the 1994 video marched to describe the quality of applying language that ensures great success in the learning of foreign language term common subject. Content and language integrated learning click is cognitive challenge for students we is this why develop tailbacks interpersonal communication skill and the theories competence in cognitive academic language. What is the about of? Teaching is about applying the language to the learned in common subject class not only on learning that learn form and language point of view in other word click adopt that is we want to learn English. It should be through the students of common subjects in English to not turn an English only subject that is turning its own solid manner and creates for an invention situation. What are the benefits of the cheese method over others? Um, Multiculturalism is of the main benefits of linguistic immersion in addition to the knowledge of language, learning to the and culture and liking such is method of studying the opportunity to interacting with all cultures. What method do you use? Click click the teaching in students, centered on is very flexible tips of teaching. Learning is interactive on autonomous and is focused on process and change. Not whose interiors involve the creative source of linguistic controlling input comments from textual and auditory materials and tensor for the those most practice is are writing and listening compression. The language is from a more lexical time, grammatical point of weight, and the most important twin is the thought student are fluent in the language. Bye bye, teacher.